Hello everybody, YouTube and Twitch alike. Let's log into our account real quick and get this going. So today, did I forget the password already? No, I just put in the wrong one. There we go. I'm going to be showing you guys how to level extremely quickly and efficiently on a ranger on Gathering Ragnarok Online, the server that I play on. So, I was given permission to make an alternate account because I don't have any extra character slots. So we're starting completely fresh. I have nothing to help me out. No Zenny, no equipment, no nothing. We're going to be going plain from the start. Step 1 to step 250, aka level 250. So let's just get right into it, shall we? Name, I will make it Ace Wargstorm because... Oh, is that a G? Did I hit the G key? That's weird. It cuts off on the bottom. I should let Everett know about that. I'm not going to worry about hairstyle or look now because I'm just going to do that later. And let's get straight into it. So, for those of you who have never played Ragnarok before, it's a simple, point and click hotkeys type of MMO at its very core. It's not that difficult. But right out the gate, we get into step 1, which is getting out of the boat and talking here to the Moose Man and the Aloof Lumen. So you just spam through the dialogue. I obviously know it, but you guys can go ahead and experience yourself and read through it. Just make sure you hit alright instead of refusing to take his advice, because he gives you the very, very crucial beginner's backpack. It has all this beginner gear, which you can just double click and put on, and oh my lord, is it strong. So we're just going to skip right over here, kill a pouring, and get a log. Oh, excuse me, I have to talk to Karak to get the log quest. There we go. Oh, and he gives you a blessing and increased agility. That's changed since I've done this last. So you just kill 2 pourings after you put on all of your strong gear. It's not that difficult, but they don't give any experience. Come over here and you talk to the sailor, and he'll take you straight to Islud by walking through the portal. As you can see, he also gives you a few job levels. Nothing crazy, but now we get into the important part. I am going to, really quick, add a display capture for my notepad real quick so that I can show you guys in a large view. There it is. So these are just my personal notes for going over what I'm talking about, but I'll be typing here so I can show you guys exactly what you must type in order to have a firm grasp of how to move around in Ragnarok. So, there are 2 basic commands that you must know in order to get to where you want to go. And that is the @go command and the @warp command. The @go command is for going to any city or town that exists in the game that you have permission to warp to. Obviously, some of them are cut off by quest access and that sort of thing. But for example, typing @go0 exactly like that with the space will warp you to our main city of Althea. And so I'm going to mirror that right now in the chat in the bottom left. You're going to see I will go through a loading screen and warp straight into our hometown. So, as you can already see, there's players here. Some AFK, some doing their own thing. We're going to talk to the Kaffir lady and save so that we respawn here. And this is just the simplest way to get to town. Just @go0 anytime you're in danger, you don't know where you are, you're lost, whatever it may be, you just @go0 and you're back here and you can start over. Now, personally, I prefer Morok Town for the background music, which I will turn on now, so you wonderful people can hear this. Anyways, moving on to @warp, which is the more complicated of the 2. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned that Morok Town is @go1, so there's that. The warp command is a little bit more difficult to grasp. So you need to know the map identifier in the game's files in order to warp where you want to go. You can warp to pretty much any map, obviously. Some of them are restricted. That would be a little bit ridiculous if you can just warp to the top floor of Thanatos Tower and kill him for free without doing any of the questing or the dungeoneering. So I will type out the examples that I will be doing for the leveling route here. This will start out with going to Geffild01. So you'll notice that commands share a similar format. They either have an @ or a / at the beginning, and then some sort of delimiter like go or warp or the name of a stat to signal what the command actually does, then followed by a space and some text that's specific for the function that does something for you that's advantageous. So here, if we type in @warp getField01, we will warp to a random coordinate on the map geffield01. And this is step 1 in our leveling route. Because we're so strong with our beginner gear and the stats that we have starting off, we can just add in a bunch of decks and punch a Rotofrog for an easy kill and experience. And now we're already ready to job change. Now, for those of you who have sharp eyes, or who have played the game before with commands, you may have noticed that I did this command in chat, which instantly put up to 50 points in my decks. It just consumed all of my status points. Can't see too much yet. It's pretty small. Oh, right. Notepad big. Good point. I forgot to close that. But that's okay. I'm sure people can left click on a monster. Anyways, you may have noticed in the bottom left that I typed /dex50 to add as much dex as I possibly could at that time, which ended up giving me 19 points in dex, because obviously you start with 1. But now that we've gotten that out of the way, I can erase these and get down to it. Make this invisible so y'all can see the full action. Anyways, just for good measure, we'll go back and we'll punch a Rotofrog again, just to make sure that we cover our bases, yeah? Now that we've punched 2 Rotofrogs, we're level 50 and job level 10. So you hit Alt-S, pop up your skill tree, get that basic skill to level 9, so now we can talk to the Job Master, and job change to Archer. Now, I do recommend you make a Ranger as your first character if you are a complete beginner to Ragnarok. It is not that difficult of a class to play in its most basic form. It is a range class, so it is very safe, and it is a high damage class, so you don't necessarily have to rely on people unless you're doing instances, which definitely do require team play. Moving on from getField01, we'll quickly go to getField02. Put an arrow in a Coco. Oh wait, let me turn off the background audio, because personally I prefer to play without BGM. As later on in the stream you'll notice, I usually play with my own music in the background. But now we kill 2 things and we're job level 50, so we can get our important skills. We ignore Arrow Shower because although it is not a bad skill, it is the less important of the 5. You can just spam all your skill points away. Double Strafe is a godsend of an ability. Vulture's Eye is always nice for the extra range, and Owl's Eye for the dexterity. So as you can see, our double strafes are already hitting quite hard, and we just keep doing that /dex plus 50 command, because as a ranged class, all we really care about is our damage and accuracy, so that we can slap the bad boys nice and hard. Now that we're job level 50 though, we have to go back to town again using the Echo 0 and get to the Job Master and job change to Hunter. As you can see, we're already picking up the pace very quickly, and it can be pretty easy to get lost. But now that we're Hunter, we're going to warp to Insphinx 4. Not the 04, but just 4. As you can see, sometimes there's minute differences in commands and that sort of thing. We kill enemies here until we're level 99 base and job level 70. And then we can go reborn and start the process over again. Usually an Anubis will do the trick. And as you can see, we're already done. When you know what you're doing, it can be really fast. So now, I'm going to take like a minute here because we just have to use all of our skill points. It doesn't matter on what, but we just need to use all of our skill points in order to job change again. And somebody is messaging me on the server. Unfortunately, I will ignore them for now. Unless it's something that's actually really important, which the man might need help with. Okay. Wait, what? Why didn't the spring trap get learned? Okay, here we go. Am I from country? Have I played at IRO as well? I have not, Balder. I have never played on IRO. Oh, actually, no, that is correct. I have never played on IRO. Anyways, now that we're 9980, we can just reborn and we start the process over again. So we head back to getField01. We have 100 skill points, so we just... Oh, I mistyped. We typed the /dex plus space 50. Give ourselves some dex for the accuracy. Put back on a knife, because I forgot to put back on a knife. And up our damage. Kill a rotofrog. Go back to town. Did I do dex plus again before skill points? No, because it gets reset. Once you reborn, all your status points get reset, so there's no point. Now, we have to spend points in basic skill again. Stumbling over my words a little bit. And then you can go to High Archer. Same process again. Put the bow back on. Oh, I forgot to say, equip your arrows by dragging them onto your character into the equip menu. Actually, that raises a good point. I should be explaining a little bit further in depth of what I'm doing with the windows. So, this window that you see opening on the side here, back and forth, is the inventory window. It has 4 tabs on the side. Personally, I've never used the favorite tab, but use is for consumable items, equip is for equipment, and miscellaneous is for miscellaneous, which can be anything from ammo to random things that you pick up from a monster. This window that you see popping up here is the equipment window, which is opened with the Alt-Q hotkey. This shows all of your current equipment, costumes, and titles that you have acquired with your character. And it's actually useful to have open in combat sometimes. Moving on from that, we have the status or attribute window, which you can see I have lined up here at the bottom. Obviously, that contains all of your 6 main stats with all of their derivatives. The 6 main stats being strength, agility, vitality, intelligence, dexterity, and luck. And then everything to the right being derivatives or, various miscellaneous information that they decided to put there. Some of the big ones being your attack or M attack, your attack speed, and your hit. And then finally, Alt-S opens up this big window over here, which is the skill tree. You may see it as this small little window. If you want to make it big, you just hit the minus sign in the top right. And I also heavily recommend checking off View Skill Info, so that when you hover over something, you can see what it does, with a brief description. Now that we've covered those bases, which I forgot to mention early on in the video, that's fine. We can move on. Because now we can go back to Gefildo 2. Oh, I put a capital F. I should probably mention that usually it's case sensitive when you're typing in commands. We kill a Coco. We get our double strafe and all of our other abilities because job experience is easy to come by. Oh, that was weird. It wouldn't highlight the skill for me to level it up. Make sure that after you rebirth, you reapply all of your skills so that they're level 10 again. Ones that have a skill variable, I don't even know what to call this, where you can select what level you're casting it at, will need to be put back up to 10 and then reapplied onto the bar. Other ones like Double Strafe, where you don't have a choice, that is simply updated as it's leveled up. So, now that we've killed 2 mobs, we are 75-50, so we should be able to go to Sniper. And now that we're a Sniper, fun begins. We will slash Dex plus 50 until we have no more points left to put into Dex. And we will talk to Joey, the beginner buffer, who is right over here next to the fountain. Joey has some really useful buffs that he can give you, and he gives them to you randomly, so let's see what we got. Increased agility is nice, movement speed's always good. Endure isn't that great. Full adrenaline rush is nice. Attack speed always helps with ability spam. So, now, we go back to Sphinx 4. Oh god, here we go. And we just kill everything in sight until we get our good buffs. And then we can head to the big boy land, the promised land. Now then, True Sight is extremely important, as is Windwalk, Sharpshooting. Then you'll want to do these left 5. And beyond that, you have now reached your potential as a sniper in terms of damage and utility. True Sight is an incredible buff, for those of you who don't know. It gives a straight up 20% damage bonus, on top of an increase to all stats, and hit, and crit. Oh my goodness, I have to get used to this casting time after playing with high gear, oh my lord. So we'll kill a few more mobs here for some extra base stats before we head to the Thor volcano. Usually 100 is my breakpoint. We go back to town. We slash Dex plus 50 one more time. And we've already spoken to Joey, so we're not going to get any more buffs. We can talk to our wonderful Warper, who is over here in the top right in the red dress. Dungeons, and scroll all the way down to the bottom to Thor Volcano, and we go to Thor Volcano 1. And we just spam double strafe until things die. Again, as I said, Rangers are very safe early on, but unfortunately I'm getting stun locked by a Sword Master. Unlucky. But that's okay, because we can go right back and show them the business. Usually, you'll get lucky with a Casa or something else that spawns at the beginning. Oh no, don't tell me he's going to kill me again. Come on, get unstunned. Oh my god, he chain stunned me. Okay, it's fine. No big deal. It's much better to just do this rather than stay in lower level areas. And now he's dead and we can move on. An unusually difficult way to begin. I should also mention that it is possible to just warp around using the @warp command in the dungeon until you find mobs that you can fight. But usually just walking is all you really need. And we're going to continue with the Dex plus 50. You can already see we have 160 plus 54 Dexterity. That is due to the insane buffs that we have from Improved Concentration and True Sight, giving us the good looks on top of our beginner gear. Now I'm actually going to use the @jump command to warp around like I spoke before. Jump will warp you around in a map that you are already in. You cannot give it a different map to warp you around on. You are really looking to fight the Casas and the Flame Imps, or actually I think they're just called Imp. They are the best at this point. And you'll notice that our DPS is a little lacking because we don't have any attack speed. So now we've reached 200 dex, just like that. We can start pumping points into agility. You're just going to do the same thing and slash agi plus space 50. And you'll notice that you'll start to double strafe faster and faster. Actually, is sharpshooting better at this point? Oh, it is better at this point, okay. Earlier on, when you have less dexterity and less agility, sharpshooting is not worth it. Because of its long cast time and long cast delay. But as you get higher up in levels, you notice that it starts to really out DPS double strafe until you hit max attack speed. And just like that, as you can see, I am base level 212 and job level 110, which is max. Now, a key mistake that people who are new to mid and high rate servers make is not waiting to job change to job 3 until they hit max base level. I highly encourage you to wait until you hit max base level before changing to 3rd job, because the job experience required increases exponentially and it can be so dreadfully slow. Alright, we're 231. I kind of want to see what my agi is like without attention concentrate, but I'm just going to increase it until it hits 193 manually. Okay, and then now we can add 98 intelligence, because intelligence is good, 129 luck, and I'll add 29 strength and some vitality. We'll go over the stats later. It really just matters that you hit 193 attack speed with your agility and 200 dexterity. As you can see, my spamming has gotten to the point where I actually need to dedicate quite a bit of my physical abilities to maintain max double strafe spam. It is an incredibly strong ability, and like I said, Rangers are ranged champions? Oh god, my league self is leaking into this. They are ranged characters, so they are extremely safe. Usually you'll be able to DPS half of a mob's health bar, if not more, by the time they reach you. And just like that, we're 250. We can go back to town and job change. 200 dex and how much agi? Somewhere around 183. That's when I hit max attack speed with just improved concentration on. Something that's key to playing Ragnarok later on as you get stronger and stronger is optimizing your stats such that you have the minimum amount of stats that you need to reach a given breakpoint. So, for example, with agility and dexterity, they both increase your attack speed, agility more than dexterity, and I have a buff that increases my dexterity and agi by 1%. So I want to have that buff applied, since it lasts for 4 minutes, which is quite a long time, and see just how much agility I need to reach max attack speed, because I don't want to put more in. I would like to save those points to put them somewhere else. And in this case, it's going between, intelligence, luck, and strength, because and vitality, of course. I am just mimicking my stat build here on my main character right now. This needs to be a 106. Oh wow, that's sad. Oh, whatever. That works. 100 intelligence. So I can't make this any bigger, which kind of sucks. But I've ended up here with 30 strength, 183 agility, 129 vitality, 100 intelligence, 200 dexterity, and 130 luck. That's what I've ended up with. Obviously, your mileage may vary. You might put a few more points in agility than you need, whatever it may be. It's not that big of a deal. Resetting here is possible. It costs 5 million zenny, which is a decent chunk, but not impossible to get by any means. We have daily quest systems and gold farming fields for that, so that's not really something that you should worry about. Probably shouldn't mimic since you don't have the same gear to reach good breakpoints. I wouldn't worry about it. Really, I just what's it called? I hit the stat breakpoints that I needed and then just kind of put in points as I went. Because obviously I'm not as geared as I am on my main character, but this stat build very much works. Is there god items in this server? There are god items. We do have Mjolnir, Brynhild, Esprika, oh boy, Sleipnir, Brisingamen, Megingjard. Am I missing any? I'm probably missing some. But yes, we have god items. There's also a couple, or I would say, excuse me, more than a couple custom quests for strong gear. How to get those god items? They are running the classic quests, so just as IRO would, I believe. We have our own guides written because, to my knowledge, I have never done it, but I have heard that they have adjusted them for our server. They may have changed the materials or made the materials harder to get, and I do believe that they have lowered the amount of people needed to break the seals. I don't quote me on that though, because as I said, I have never actually done it. But I will say that our server follows official releases to the T, quite literally. I have spoken with our admin about it several times. And we found our friend Gotcha here laughing at our name and the pun. How many people are online now at this server? I believe. Let's go take a look, shall we? Wait, let me. Oh, you were the first watcher. Oh, look at that. Oh, I have to spend skill points. Let me spend my skill points, and then I'll go do a little bit of math for you and figure out how many people are online for you. Generally, it's something like 30. Although this is the least populated I have seen the server be in my entire 2 years of being here. So there is that for what it's worth. Okay, wait, I forgot the job change. Now then. Oh, Jesus, come on. What? That was weird. Okay. There we go. Now we're job level, or excuse me, job level 1 again, and we're ranger. So we've basically completed our leveling. Okay, a lot of merchants. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22. So 22. So right now there's about 20 people online. Probably a few more. Just slash W to find out. 31. Oh, 9 people online at the moment. But this server is based in Germany, so it's pretty late right now. Server time wise, I believe it's what, 9 o'clock? 8:36. So people are probably eating dinner and not here. But let's move on to getting gear. Because our beginner gear, although powerful, only lasts several days. And also they lose their special effects after level 200. So we don't have the special effects like increased damage against small, medium, large monster by 20%, but we do have the base stats, such as 140 attack. So it's still something that we can use, but we want to replace it pretty quickly. So I will walk you guys through what I usually do when I start out. We are going to do some more commands, checking who drops a composite bow with the @whodrops command. If I remember correctly, it is Goblin Archer. Yep. So we will @a loot ID 1705 and double check where they are. I actually have no recollection where they are. Filled 11. And let's go find some stuff. How did he beat me? How did who beat you? While we're farming for our composite bow, we'll get some job levels. And we'll get access to our strong skills from the ranger class pretty soon. Mostly just warping around, trying to find archers to kill. Oh, yes, Kevin, have you noticed the strategic placement of the chat? Huh, these archers are hiding from me. They don't want to give me my bow. Oh, there's two. Oh, wait, there's another one here. Yeah, there it is. Cool. Notepad command for finding mobs. Absolutely. If you're asking, I better show you. Because that means that other people might be confused. So while we're in town, before we do anything else, let's go over some more, shall we? I've already covered this, so I will erase this and type from the beginning again. So, going over the commands that you have @go command, where this is equal to a number / name of a town. You have the @warp command, where the delimiter is the name of the field / dungeon, usually in the form of geth_field XX, where XX equals. Okay, so there's that. Those are the two big ones. @go name / number. Yeah, I move real fast. I know, I'm trying to move real fast. Use my... What? What do you mean use my angular brackets, you weirdo? What? What is this? I'm being insulted on my own stream. Then, moving on from there, other commands that you may find useful. @jump moves you around to a random coordinate on the current map. And those are our movement ones, so let me delineate here, shall we? Then we I love you or I wouldn't be mean. Alright, very well. Then we have, for our information commands, you have @mi underscore, where underscore equals ID, number, or name. You have @whodrops underscore, where underscore equals ID, number, or name of item, I should specify, of monster. And where is underscore, where underscore equals ID, number, or name of monster. So these are like the big 6, right? Describe information ones, please. Okay, that is a good idea. So, @mi gives you detailed mob information, including all of their stats, their ID number, what they drop in the percentages, their element, their race, their experience and job experience, their level. Anything else that I'm missing? Well, let me go check in the game. Why not? Let's MI and MVP, say Drake. Okay. Oh, of course, their health. How could I forget? and all of their pseudo stats, you know, beyond just strength, agility, vitality, intelligence, dexterity, and luck. It shows you also their defense, magic defense. Oh, of course, obviously, a important factor is size, because that can affect your size modifier for damage. Flee and hit, which is important for defense and offense against them. And like I said, it also displays all of their drops and the percentages associated with them, and any additional information that you might need at the moment. Then, who drops will give you a list of who drops a given item. So, let's say we're looking at who drops coagulated spells from a particular instance later. And it may be a little difficult to read in the bottom left, but it says item name and the ID number, just to make sure that you're looking at the right thing. And then it will give you the top 10 enemies who drop it. Top 10 being the top 10 most common drop rates of a given thing. So it lists a bunch of enemies in that particular instance: the Corrupted Soul, Second Commander of Destruction, etc., 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 all who drop at 50%. So, moving on to @whereis as the final information command. @whereis will let you know what map a particular monster is on. So, for example, at the very beginning, we killed a Rotafrog, spelled R-O-D-A, frog, with a space in between, obviously. So we can @whereis, and it will show us that a Rotafrog spawns in PRT_FILD00, Prontera field 00, and Geffen field 01, by that same logic, etc., etc. It's all there for you to see, so you don't have to do that much research, much at all, in fact. As long as you know what you need to kill, you can figure out where you need to go. And that actually raises a good point. Perhaps I will attach a written addendum to this when I put it on YouTube for people, so that they can easily find out where they need to go without having to look it up beforehand. That sounds like a good idea. Thank you for bringing that up and giving me that idea off of that. So I'll actually save this for later. But now that you have all that information present to you, we shall move on to gear. And using the commands that we just went over, I will go through it with you guys step by step. So we are going to go for a @whodrops title shoes, and we are going to oh, how could I forget? Let me go over that one real quick. Before we move on, this is one of the most important. How could I forget? Regular chat / battle log, that's advanced, honestly. So, the @autoloot and @aloot blank commands, right? So, actually, let me separate them. Okay, so @autoloot will pick up everything. Autoloot will automatically add any loot that drops from any monster, period, end of story, that you have committed to killing automatically. So everything goes into your inventory. That can get you overweight very quickly, especially on a ranger who has virtually no strength. @aloot item will be a bit more useful for you. Just to specify again, it's @aloot space item space and then the underscore, where the underscore is the item's ID number or name. That makes it so that if a given monster you are killing drops the particular item that you're alooting, it will automatically add it to your inventory. You can have up to 20 specific items that you are specific. Well, that's a lot of specifics, huh? You can have up to 20 items that you are specifically looking for that will be automatically added to your inventory. It's really useful, especially when mobs drop a lot of items, or there are a lot of mobs that drop a lot of trash around you, right? It can make your life a lot easier so that you don't miss things that are important to drop. You know, important things such as taming items, or even cards, should you find it so important. But cards are usually covered, or excuse me, are always covered under the following command that we're going over, which is @aloot rate. So this is the big boy one, where underscore equals a number 1 to, or I guess 0.01 to 100. So, at a loot rate will cause you to pick up everything that drops at and underneath the percentage rate that you specify. So, a standard practice is to do at a loot rate 1. Therefore, you will pick up all cards and pretty rare gear that may drop from a given monster. Cards are very important, obviously, so at a loot rate 1ing, even when you just spawn into the server and log in, is a pretty standard practice. It can cause you to pick up things that you may miss out on, and cards are almost always very useful, especially when you're a beginner, because there are a lot of applications. So, now that we have that covered, we shall move on. That was, I'm glad I caught myself there, because that could have been a little bit annoying. I have a couple skill points, so we're going to throw some into Aimed Bolt and Arrow Storm. Obviously, I don't have all of them maxed, but Arrow Storm is an incredibly powerful ability. Even just 7 ranks into it is really nice. So moving on. We're going to at a loot rate 1 so that we pick up any cards in the future. And we're going to at a loot item Title Shoes, at a loot item Wool Scarf. Bottom left, it's telling me that Title Shoes is 2424 for the item ID number, and Wool Scarf is 2528. Now, I already know this information, but I'm going to display it for you guys, and also just go over it. Doing an at who drops space 2424, or Title Shoes, will show you that they are dropped by ragged zombies at a 15% chance. So if we do an at where is on a ragged zombie, or at where is 1865, which is their ID number, it will tell us that there are 70 of them at any given time in Abio 2. So it sounds like that's where we want to go. But when looking at the Wool Scarf, let's see who drops the Wool Scarf. Wool Scarf is dropped mostly by Banshees at 10% chance. And so we'll do an at where is 2887, or at where is Banshee. Oh, wait, that's the wrong type. Excuse me. At where is 1867. I was doing the Minibob version. And you can see that 93 of them spawn in Abio 1, but none of them spawn in Abio 2. So, because of that, we scroll up again and we see that ragged zombies are there are 33 of them in Abio 1, so it looks like Abio 1 is the place to be. So we're going to warp there, and we're going to be looking for ragged zombies and banshees. And what do you know? There's 2 banshees right off the bat. 1 Arrow Storm doesn't quite kill them. That's kind of sad, but with a few more ranks in Arrow Storm, it should be no problem. Also, we have Aimed Bolt now, and Aimed Bolt will replace our lovely double strafe that carried us all throughout leveling. And I think I just got a text from work. No, I did not. Cool. Nothing to worry about there. Alright, let's keep looking. There's a ragged zombie. Oh, I am getting a phone call. Oh boy. Oh wait, never mind. It's a spam phone call. Well, there's our Wool Scarf. We got one in that group there that we just killed. So now that we got that, we can go into Abio 2, where there's a larger population of ragged zombies, and start killing them instead. And look at that, we got the shoes already. So, let's go on and get out of here. Did I transcend? Yeah, I'm already Ranger, buddy. Okay, now that we have a couple pieces of gear that we can use, including our composite bow, our garment, and our shoes, obviously they are unidentified, so we can't put them on. Now, we do have magnifiers, but on our server we have a much more convenient option. If you talk to our wonderful Althea guide right here, the blonde man in the blue outfit, you can simply warp to the tool guide, also the tool, or excuse me, the tool dealer, the tool shop, walk over here and talk to the Deckard Kane NPC, who's the identifier, and he will identify all of your items for 200 Zen each. So he'll just take care of everything at once for us, and I'm about to sneeze. I got to mute in time for that one, thankfully. That was nice. And now we can replace our beginner's bow with the weaker but more flexible composite bow, the Wool Scarf, and the Title Shoes for a pretty neat and slottable combo So these are pretty basic equipment. You know, we get a nice 10% max HP buff, some water resist, some regen. But the most important thing is this slot. Slots are very powerful in Ragnarok. You can put cards in them, and sometimes multiple cards, when put together, have very special and strong effects. So, that is why we are prioritizing gear that is of medium strength, that also has the flexibility of the slots. Yes, cards time. Unfortunately, before we move on to cards, we do need a few more pieces of gear. We are going to need a sniping suit, which is going to take some time, so let's go work on that. They are dropped by Bow Guardians at a 2% chance. Whew. Okay. I misspelled suit. It took forever, you're still mad about it. Yes, it sometimes can take time. But at the same time, they also drop Crimson Bows, which are very, very important. That is one of our end game gears, so that is nothing to sneeze at. While we're here, though, because this is a high-level dungeon, we can get some decent experience for ourselves. And look at that, we already hit a 1.5% on a Crimson Bow drop. I'm just going to magnify it right now because I'm already here and may as well. And I'm going to switch to it right now because it's actually stronger than a composite bow by a decent margin. The composite bow is just much quicker to get and also has more slots, so early on, without high refine bonuses, can be more useful than a Crimson Bow. Unfortunately, depending on our luck, I may or may not have to edit this out of the video. Huh. Because this could take a while. Oh, see, what is the other bow that they drop? Is it the Luna bow? Yeah. Okay. Let's take a quick jump around. We found another Bow Guardian. We'll walk in the corner, make everybody friends, and kill them up. Always make sure to have your True Sight buff on. That 20% damage bonus always helps. That is a key to playing Ranger, is managing that True Sight buff, never letting it go. After all, a +5 to all stats and a 20% damage bonus and a 30% hit bonus and a +5 to crit is nothing to sneeze at. And while we're here, if we ever manage to find these Rogue fellas, they are a solid mob to kill, as they will drop these steamed alligator with vegetables. They are a stat food that give you +7 agi and heal you for a decent amount. Always useful to have. If you ever see them, make sure you take them out. For now, we'll just be amassing skill points and spending them later on when we have a free moment. I will actually put 2 points in Aimed Bolt here just to get it up to max level, because that is something that we're using a lot. Everything else can pretty much wait. I need to be looking. Oh, I just warped away from a Bow Guardian. That's so sad. There's one now. Am I being made fun of for my nothing to sneeze at remarks now? Well, I'm okay with that. Okay. A little under halfway to max job level. Come on. One of these Bow Guardians has to drop me a sniping snoot, man. Hey, look, there was Ifrit's grave. That's something that we'll get into at a later date. What's my arrow count looking like? Going to drag this up on here just so that I can keep track of it. I have a lot more than I thought I would, actually. Okay, as you can see, we're getting a little injured, so we're going to take a ride back to Althea really quick. I'm stressing you out, go heal. Don't worry, we'll be fine. We'll actually substitute in an @jump command here in the bottom, have it ready in our chat bar so that if we need to warp away, we can just warp away. Don't be shy from the big mobs, you just keep walking. Your wind walk lets you outrun them, and you can just kill them with 2 arrow storms or so, depending on what gear you have. That was a sword guardian. I thought it was a bowmaster. Oh, come on, fellas. Ah, we'll get it eventually. Oh, it's another crimson bow. Cool. We'll need those later. I'm sure we'll go through plenty of those at a later date. Because sometimes refining is not your best friend. The refined gods may like you one day, but on the next, they are your mortal enemy. Your biggest concern while you're out here farming for a sniping suit will be the magic that the mobs cast. It is extremely irritating. It has a very quick cast time. I'm readjusting my posture because don't forget to sit up straight. You gotta keep your back in a healthy position. I just had. That's a chat management mistake. Oops. Just throw up around the rebuffs here. Still looking for bow guardians. Wait, what's that? Why did that... Do they drop another piece of clothing that's not a sniping suit? What? I got... Okay. Well, it's a good thing I knew what that looked like. Huh. What sniping suit is it eluding? Well, I should look this up now. Let's go find this out ourselves. Ah, okay. Got you. Understandable. So, this is why it is important that you keep track of your item IDs. So, at who drops sniping suit. I skipped a step here, and so I ended up gimping myself. Right? It's a good thing that I knew what it looked like, but this is why it's important to follow the processes, right? So, if you do the @whodrops command like I just did in the bottom left, you can see that there are 2 different sniping suits. One with ID 2367 and one with ID 2398. The 2398 ID one was the one that automatically got eluded when I typed in elude item sniping suit with just the name. That item is not dropped by mobs because it is a rental item that you can purchase from the rental shop for, I believe, 7 million zenny for a week, which is actually pretty good. But the other sniping suit that we were looking for, which we would have noticed had we done the @whodrops command earlier to double check, would be the 2367 one, which drops from bow guardians at a 2% chance. So, this is why, again, you should follow the processes. You don't want to skip any steps, because then you get confused, yeah? Now then, I believe we will need one more thing, which will be an accessory. And then beyond that, we will be ready for our card combo. If I am not mistaken, let me just double check. Excuse me, I know for a fact that I spelled alligator correctly. Oh my goodness. Cruiser. That one I can't mess up. Accessory, armor, weapon, garment, footgear. Yep. So now our last thing that we're pursuing is a slotted accessory. And this can be easy enough to get. Really quickly, I'm going to check the equipment shop because I don't think they sell slotted accessories, but they might. And that could save us some time. Ah, look at that. They sell the, what's it called? Mechanic gears, as well as a slotted belt, which we can just buy for 20,000 zenny, and equip it. And now, we're ready to go. So, it's card time, my friends. So, I will do this with the notepad. And I'll show it to you guys. So, you are looking for the Cruiser card, a Nolian card, Alligator card, Merman card, and am I missing one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and Dragon Tail card. These are the cards for the basic archer set, and they have a pretty good effect when combined. And once you get this gear, you will be strong enough to go through the what is it called? The Hazy Forest maze, and move on to your next step in gear. So let me just add ALU rate 1 again, for, you know, security's sake. And let's check where a cruiser is. I know where they are. They're in Xmas Dunno 2, but I cannot stress this enough. Not skipping steps can save you a headache later on. And at this point, I think this is probably where... Oh, hello. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. The first MVP kill on this account. Will this be, will this give me a card? Oh god, I do actually 0 damage. Okay. No card, but still, not bad. Some nice materials there for us. So let me explain what I did really quick. I know, notepad, I wanted to kill it. I am sorry. That is unfortunate. It's okay though. We learn and we move on. That is very sad, but we must accept our mistakes. I zoomed in and everything and we couldn't even see it. I have to find out a better way to do that in the future then. Actually, you know what? Let's fix it now, guys. Come on. We can do it. Let's find out a better way. Is that big enough? Oh, wait, that's not what I wanted to do. That's definitely big enough. I'm shrinking that. That's still definitely big enough. I'm shrinking that more. That looks suitable. I am locking this. Window game put side by side. I'm actually not using a display capture right now because it is causing problems. So I will switch just for demonstration's sake. This is currently what the OBS recording thinks my display looks like, but that is obviously not the case. Anyways, moving on. I think with that, killing the MVP and unfortunately not being able to see it, I'll call that as the end of the video, but I will continue streaming. So let me explain how my format will work for everybody before I end. So the plan is to do streams like this where we have a specific goal in mind for the first, however long. It might be 15 minutes. It might be, 40 minutes. It could be whatever it is. I believe this one took me about, 45 minutes? Maybe a little less, probably closer to 30 minutes actually, to go through, because I did have to deal with all of the setup issues at the start of the stream. But beyond that, I have shown you guys how to quickly and efficiently level up. I have spoken about the commands that are important in the game and wrote them down, which I will post when I post this video to YouTube, and it will be in the description. I have gone over how the NPCs work and where some of the key NPCs are, like the identifier, the job changer, the warper, and the healer. Yeah, I think that right there is a solid base to start out with. So, without further ado, I will end the recording. Thank you guys for watching.